Hey everyone, Midens here. It's been a while, but we're back with the final entry in the Nintendo Cinematic Universe series. There's a lot I need to get through, so let's not waste any time and get straight into this. The first film we'll be talking about is another conclusion to a trilogy, Kirby Star Allies. A priest named Highness attempts to perform a ritual on a mysterious Jamba Heart. This fails, breaking the seal containing the Jamba Heart and causing shards to fall on planet Popstar. Everyone is corrupted by these stars except for Kirby, who's hit by a shard of the seal and gains the power to cure the corruption. Kirby has to bring everyone back to normal and heads into space to stop Highness. Here, we learn that Highness is attempting to revive a powerful entity known as Void Termina. While Kirby beats Highness, through Highness sacrificing himself, Void Termina gathers enough energy to be summoned. The final battle begins, and Void Termina turns into its final form. Void is defeated, and everyone manages to return to planet Popstar, but one interesting thing is noticed. Highness previously explained that Void Termina is a reincarnation of Void's evil aspects. As Void Termina transformed, it looked eerily similar to Kirby, and that leaves everyone wondering if there's something more to Kirby than they all knew. I considered not having Kirby appear in the Melee movie, but would make his gap between appearances too big, so there could be a post-credit scene showing Kirby right before the Melee movie begins, which would act as a reminder of what is to come. Also, here's a good question to remember. He wasn't mentioned in this film, so where's King Dedede? Following up on this film is the continuation of the saga's main storyline, Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Following up on the ending of Melee, the entire cast is spread across different universes by Taboo, and while we're familiar with most of them, a couple are entirely new. While multiple characters from Brawl's lineup are introduced, the two most important characters I want to highlight are Solid Snake and Sonic the Hedgehog. While it felt weird giving these characters their own movies, I was fine with including them in these crossover films. I also want to note some other characters introduced. Pokemon Trainer can be more than just Red, including Gold and May. Toon Link and Ganondorf can be from an alternate timeline branched off from our Link's world. Actually getting to the plot, heroes around different universes have to face villains they've never dealt with before, such as Bowser, Wario, and Ganondorf. They are working under the Ancient Minister, a general for Taboo. Their plan is to detonate subspace bombs that transport an area and its people to the subspace dimension. We see Taboo's minions be defeated as Wario loses to a group of heroes, Bowser is betrayed by Ganondorf, and Ganondorf, who plans to overthrow Taboo, is ultimately defeated by him. On the other hand, the Ancient Minister joins the other heroes as we learn of his story. The Ancient Minister is a Rob unit who is forced to work under Taboo, and he turns on the villains when Ganondorf orders the detonation of all subspace bombs, which requires the sacrifice of other Rob units. Eventually, the heroes who are not trapped in the subspace dimension face Taboo, but they are defeated with a devastating attack. This is where we learn what King Dedede was doing in the last film. Before the events of the Melee film, Dedede learned of Taboo's plan to turn everyone into trophies and create a special pin called Dedede Brooch that would revive whoever had one. A small group of revived fighters are able to confront Taboo. Finally challenged, Taboo prepares for another attack, but he is defeated in a final blow by someone who is too fast to recognize, Sonic. In the end, everyone returns home once more, except for the Ancient Minister. His homeworld was destroyed by the rest of the subspace bombs, and the rest of his kind has been wiped out, leaving him the final remaining Rob. In a post-credit scene, we see remnants of Taboo's energy as it transforms into something more powerful. Subspace Emissary works really well as a film, so I had a lot to go through. While Taboo could be a great final villain, there's still many characters left to introduce. Speaking of which, here is Kid Icarus. Before the events of the film, the goddess of light, Palutena, banished the goddess of darkness, Medusa, to the underworld for her mistreatment of humanity. Medusa later launches a surprise attack, taking over Palutena's temple. Palutena manages to send a bow and arrow to a young angel imprisoned in the underworld named Pit, and Pit manages to fight his way to Skyworld, gaining confidence in his abilities, and eventually defeating Medusa. After how long the last two movies were, I'm glad to have some smaller scale stories like this. Now, let's head into the next year. I contemplated having more than 3 movies, as I could have opened up space for more franchises, but I felt that doing more films with these major characters is essential since everyone lives in different universes and can't interact super often. You can probably guess the series I'm talking about with the 4th entry, Super Mario Odyssey. This will mostly follow the events of the game as you see how the Mushroom Earth has changed after the Galaxy movie, allowing the other kingdoms to exist. Bowser takes Peach to marry her, and also captures Tiara for the wedding. Admittedly, adapting Mario Odyssey is making me realize that I can't do the 2023 movie one-to-one for my first Mario film, but it wouldn't change that much if you remove the wedding subplot to use it here. Mario, alongside Cappy, who Mario can use to transform into essentially anything, both head on a globe-trotting adventure to catch up to Bowser. Mario eventually meets Bowser on the moon, where they have a final confrontation. Their battle goes deeper into the moon's core, and after defeating Bowser, Mario has to capture him in order to save them all from the collapsing cavern. Mario and Bowser both offer flowers to Peach, but she rejects them both and gets on the Odyssey, though she ultimately tells Mario to join her. I feel like you can take a lot of routes with the Mario film series, but all four entries have been able to stand on their own and tell different but exciting stories in the Mario universe. I'm about to do something never seen before. Bring Mother 3 to America. Since I skipped Earthbound Beginnings to introduce Ness, it makes sense to bring in Lucas with Earthbound 2. I haven't played Mother 3, so I'll do my best to give a plot synopsis that would fit a film adaptation. The main character, Lucas, sees that his village has been attacked by the Pigmask army. Lucas's mother, Hinawa, dies during this attack, and Lucas's brother, Claus, leaves their village to get revenge. Sometime later, Lucas discovers he has psychic powers, and with his new and old companions by his side, must prevent a mysterious masked man from summoning a world-altering entity called the Dark Dragon. 7 needles control the dragon's power, and a person must pull the majority of them to acquire the power. With Lucas's team and the masked man having pulled 3 each, they both head to New Pork City, the Pigmask army's capital. After an intense battle with their leader, Porgy, he seals himself in a capsule to protect himself, but he is unaware that it'll trap him permanently. Lucas faces the masked man for the final needle when he discovers that the masked man is a brainwashed Claus. During the battle, the two of them hear the spirit of their mother begging them to stop fighting, and Claus sacrifices himself, allowing Lucas to pull the final needle. The dragon is summoned as the world collapses and everything fades to black. The film ends with the characters we met saying goodbye to the audience, with Lucas ultimately giving the final farewell, with their fates after the Dark Dragon being summoned being left ambiguous, as Earthbound 2 comes to a close. Mother 3 has an amazing plot, but I'm starting to question if this would even work as a kids movie. I guess I never limited myself to a PG rating, but it's surprising how serious this game gets. Next up, we're coming back to a major character in a film clearly set up in their previous entry, The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. This film will follow Link as he acclimates to Hyrule 100 years in the future while regaining his memory. Link reunites with Impa and is sent on a quest to gain control of the Divine Beasts and defeat Ganon once and for all. In the Divine Beasts, Link will meet Mipha, Revali, Daruk, and Urbosa. I didn't include these characters in the previous 4 movies, so for these interactions to work, I would have it be revealed that Link met the 4 of them at different points during his journey between the first and second films. After successfully recapturing the Divine Beasts and regaining the Master Sword in the Lost Woods, Link makes a stand against Calamity Ganon in Hyrule Castle. With the help of the Divine Beasts and the power of the Master Sword, Link and Zelda manage to finally defeat Calamity Ganon. Sometime later, we follow Link and Zelda in the Hyrule Castle library. There, they learn of an ancient story of a hero and a princess defeating the manifestation of evil and how they are cursed to repeat this for all of time. While the two of them must prioritize rebuilding Hyrule, they now have a new goal to accomplish: keeping Hyrule safe for good. Since we've already talked about the other 2 members of the Big 3, there's no point in waiting to talk about the last one. So, in an ending to another trilogy, here's Super Metroid. Following up on the previous entry, we learn that Samus sent the baby Metroid to the Ceres space colony so that scientists could observe its powers. Samus heads back to the planet when she hears a distress signal and discovers that Ridley is still alive and has stolen the baby Metroid. Samus escapes the planet when it starts a self-destruct sequence and returns to Zebes, the home of the space pirates, in order to find the Metroid. Samus has to face multiple threats, such as Ridley while on Zebes, and when she enters the pirates' base, she discovers that they have started creating new Metroids. Due to a backup protocol, Mother Brain has also survived the events of the first film, and Samus must defeat it one final time. A giant Metroid gets involved in this fight, attacking Samus until it realizes who Samus is. The giant Metroid is the same one as the baby she previously saved. The Metroid sacrifices itself to save Samus, and in its final moments, it gives Samus powers that she uses to defeat Mother Brain. Zebes also self-destructs, but Samus manages to escape, appearing to have finally beaten the space pirates once and for all. There's still a lot left to go through, so let's move on to the next year. I've mentioned this quite a few times, but each Nintendo franchise has such a unique atmosphere to it that makes seeing them apart and together so entertaining. Anyway, here's another sequel in F-Zero X. After the tragic crash that led to the cancellation of the Grand Prix races, drivers begin underground tournaments to show that racing is still a beloved event. As these races gain more popularity, new faces begin to enter. Super Arrow is a superhero and racer who survived the events of the final Grand Prix. There's also Blood Falcon, who's clearly similar to Falcon, but he doesn't know why yet. During a later race, things get tense between Falcon and Blood Falcon, and the race ends in an exact tie. Through this race, in a passionate speech by Super Arrow to the Grand Prix founders, one official game will determine if the F-Zero Grand Prix will return. After the race, Falcon is confronted by Blood Falcon, and he learns that Blood Falcon was a clone created from his DNA, which is picked up from the race at the end of the first film. This was done by Falcon's old adversary, Black Shadow, who intends to join the race and defeat Falcon publicly. Falcon has to both win and hope that there's no major accidents, which both seem unlikely with Black Shadow involved. However, through pure effort and talent, Falcon manages to win the race and prove that the sport deserves to stay. After being victorious, Falcon removes his helmet for the first time and shocks everyone with his retirement. Some time passes, and we see the new Grand Prix, with regulations that make the game significantly safer for participants. While Falcon did announce his retirement, he's a racer, which means he most certainly won't be gone forever. I contemplated introducing many different franchises this phase, and there are some series that are very popular, but I just didn't know how to make a movie based on them. While this franchise is a lot newer, Xenoblade Chronicles feels fitting for a film adaptation. I haven't played this game, and from what I've seen, the story is really long, so I'm once again going to try to condense this to the best of my ability. The film begins with a fight between two powerful entities, Bionis and Mechanus. Their bodies eventually turn into lands inhabited by two species, humans called Homs on Bionis, and robots called Mechons on Mechanus. Shulk is a Hom who acquires a sword called the Monado, which allows the wielder to see the future and manipulate reality, although the latter powers can only be used by people with enough willpower to handle it. Shulk's village is attacked by a Mechan army, which leads to the death of his friend Fiona, and Shulk, along with teammates that join him, go on a quest to get revenge. While on a prisoner island in Bionis, Shulk frees an imprisoned entity named Zanza, who claims to be the creator of the Monado. During another attack, it is revealed that Fiora is still alive, but has been turned into a cyborg. While Shulk and the others have spent their whole journey facing the Mechons, Zanza is revealed to be the ultimate threat, as he plans on using the Monado to recreate the universe in his image. He attempts to sway Shulk to his side, but Shulk refuses and ultimately defeats Zanza by using the full power of the Monado. Alvis, one of Zanza's disciples, attempts to convince Shulk to recreate the universe and become its god. Shulk instead decides to leave the world without divine intervention, allowing everyone to live peacefully and control their own fate. Shulk and Fiora, the latter of whom is back to being a normal Hom, go out to explore their new world. A post-credit scene shows Shulk later on constructing a replica of the Monado after he gave up the original at the end of the film. The moment he wields it, Shulk sees something horrifying that he can't explain. The end of all reality. We're nearing the end, and that means it's time for another Smash film to bring this story to a close. I'm calling it Super Smash Bros. 4 for now, since I really don't know what to call it, considering the names of Super Smash Bros. For the Nintendo 3DS and Wii U that I'm working with. Master and Crazy Hand return, once again instituting another Super Smash Bros. Tournament. This competition is larger than the previous two, and the stakes are higher than before, as losing will lead to their universes being erased. Subverting the tournament is much harder as new characters such as Mega Man, Pac-Man, Ryu, Cloud, and Bayonetta fight to protect their world. We see that worlds are actually being erased as participants are knocked out, and the need to defeat Master Hand and Crazy Hand intensifies as the stakes truly set in. The remaining fighters face Master and Crazy Hand, but they are quickly revealed not to be the true mastermind. The remnants of Taboo created the Master Core, its true form. The fighters all try their best, but the Master Core is far too powerful, even for the combined efforts of everyone remaining. There's only one object that could stand a chance against the Master Core, something that has existed, but has not been used by any character to this point. A Smash Ball. A Smash Ball appears when enough energy is generated by fighters from different worlds, but they release too much energy for a single user to bear. One fighter steps up to use the power of the Smash Ball, Kirby. Through this attack, they manage to do serious damage to the Master Core. However, the Master Core splits into two forms, Galeem and Darkon. Galeem shoots beams of light, vaporizing anyone in its path. Everyone attempts to escape, but few avail. Samus is able to get on her ship, and a small group of fighters also arrive on time. Samus' ship, however, is too slow, and everyone on board grabs onto Kirby's Warp Star and each other, successfully teleporting away from Galeem's attack. Every reality fades to white, and we see a group of 12 fighters: Mario, Donkey Kong, Link, Samus, Yoshi, Kirby, Fox, Pikachu, Luigi, Ness, Captain Falcon, and Jigglypuff ending up in a new world. It's a combination of everything they've been through, yet it's like nothing they've ever seen before. The world of light. Taking a break from the main storyline, we're back with another fourth entry in a series with Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. We obviously want to get to the end, so let's keep this brief. Dawn begins her journey, like many others before her. She gets a starter alongside her rival Barry, and collects gym badges as she travels through the Sinnoh region. During her journey, she runs into Team Galactic, an organization that hopes to use the region's legendary Pokemon to create a new universe. Dawn is helped by the Sinnoh champion Cynthia and a detective named Looker. Team Galactic succeeds in getting what they need to summon Dialga and Palkia, but their leader Cyrus is pulled into the Distortion World by Giratina. Dawn, Cynthia, and Looker follow Cyrus, and after defeating Giratina, the three of them leave, with Cyrus choosing to remain. Dawn battles the Elite Four, and it culminates in a fight against Cynthia, who has had a much more sizable role compared to Lance and even Steven. The film ends with Dawn victorious, but we can't ignore the elephant in the room. In a post-credit scene, Dawn is spending time back at home when Looker arrives at her house. He tells Dawn about disruptions in reality that have nothing to do with the Distortion World or the Sinnoh legendaries. As he's explaining this, a spark of light appears in the sky, growing larger and larger until it consumes everything. I had to do quite a bit of research for this next film, and this is most certainly not perfect due to my lack of knowledge, but here's the sequel, Fire Emblem Awakening. The movie takes place 2,000 years after the original Fire Emblem, follows a prince named Chrom. In the beginning, Chrom's army discovers Robin, a tactician with amnesia. They are helped by a mysterious character calling themselves Marth, who is later revealed to be Lucina, Chrom's daughter from a potential future. She tells him that a powerful entity named Grima, which previously attempted to destroy the world, was resurrected in her future. Validar, the leader of a group that worships Grima, reveals that Robin was born to become a vessel for Grima's return. Lucina then realizes that Robin, who while possessed by Grima, killed Chrom in her time. The same events appear to be playing out, but through their knowledge of future events, Chrom's death is prevented. With the power of the Fire Emblem, Chrom is able to use a ritual called the Awakening that will stop Grima, but for only 1,000 years. Robin can defeat Grima for good, but at the cost of her own life. Robin makes the sacrifice, and Chrom refuses to believe that she's truly dead, believing that she's somewhere out there. We then see a shot similar to the beginning of the film, where someone opens her eyes. We see that this is Robin, and she sees Chrom in front of her. However, he is completely still. Robin begins freaking out as she sees more statues of people around her, and before she can even figure out what's going on, she turns to stone herself. Before we get to the proper conclusion, there's just one more film I want to introduce. This is definitely the most recent Nintendo franchise to reach massive popularity, and that is Splatoon. Splatoon takes place in a world where humanity was wiped out by rising sea levels, and octopuses and squids evolved into being the dominant species. Squids became known as Inklings, and octopuses became known as Octarians. A long time before the events of the film, Octarians and Inklings were involved in a conflict where the Octarians lost and went into hiding. In the large city of Inkopolis, a tournament called the Splatfest is held where competitors must knock each other out and cover the battlefield with the most of their team's ink. We mainly follow two teams, orange and blue, as they make their way up the ranks. During these matches, a mysterious group of people are watching over them. Right before the finals, when these two teams would face each other, a group of Octarians are revealed to have stolen Zapfish, creatures that power the city of Inkopolis. The people watching over the tournament are the new Squidbeaks platoon, who were aware of a potential scheme by the Octarians and were searching for the best Inklings to help them retrieve the Zapfish. After some conflicts with the Octarians, they finally encounter their leader, DJ Octavio. He then makes a deal with the Inklings. Whoever can win a Splatfest match gets to keep the Zapfish. The best two members from both teams work together, and DJ Octavio's team is defeated. The film ends with the start of the final Splatfest match, and while we don't see who wins, it'll certainly be an eventful battle. An eventful battle it sure was, as in the post-credit scene, we see a flash of light in the midst of the match. Two members of the opposing teams take a while to realize what's happened until they see a giant ball fire in the air, followed by seemingly an entire army standing completely still. This is it, the end. What we've been building up to in the last 33 movies, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. We start back with the original 12, who are in awe at the world they are witnessing. It's essentially a combination of everything they have ever known alongside worlds they've never seen before. In these different sections of the world of light, there are evil forms of fighters, while they are physically in another dimension with Galeem. While they can save the other fighters, they are still stuck in that dimension, so the 12 will have to do everything by themselves. They're eventually able to save everyone in the world of light, which includes the entire roster up to Smash 4. At the end of the world of light, the 12 manage to surprise and defeat Galeem. However, they have not saved saved everyone and must enter the Dark Realm. There, we are introduced to characters who first appeared in Smash Ultimate. These new characters are also saved by the main cast, and everyone prepares for a battle against Darkhan. Suddenly, Galeem reappears, and both Galeem and Darkhan face each other, with Galeem controlling Master Hand and Darkhan controlling Crazy Hand. Both halves are damaged by the fight and reform into the Master Core. The conflict separated the fighters, and the only ones ready to face the Master Core are Mario, Link, and Samus. Fighting is intense as they give it all they have. Link is pinned down by the Master Core, and he's in a desperate situation. Goddess Hylia recognizes the severity of the situation, and through her blessing, Mario is able to use the Master Sword to save Link. The rest of the 12 arrive at the fight, but the Master Core summons an army of Master and Crazy Hands. All hope seems to be lost. That is until they begin to hear voices. Everyone they saved on their journey appears, prepared to fight alongside them to save all of reality. From Mario to even Sora, everyone is here. Final battle commences against the Master and Crazy Hands. This culminates in a small group heading to the front to battle Master Core. There's so much intense fighting that occurs that multiple giant Smash Balls appear, and they transform into a giant Smash Ball with a significantly greater power. The Master Core manages to swat away everyone except for one person, Mario. Seeing no other option, Mario uses the power of the Master Ball to completely wipe out the Master Core. However, the power of a regular Smash Ball is immense, and the power of several is too much for anyone to bear. Mario, sitting down next to the people he cares about, smiles as he sacrificed himself to save everyone. Everyone returns home, and we see their lives as they go back to a sense of normalcy. Now every universe celebrates Mario as a hero. We see Red and Pikachu continue on their journey as they hear of an exciting tournament in the Unova region. Samus, wondering what to do with her life after defeating the space pirates, decides to spend some time traveling with the Star Fox crew. Kirby has a big feast with his friends in Dreamland. Hyrule Castle is rebuilt, with Zelda as its queen, and Link as its top general by her side. In the Mario universe, everyone is remembering Mario, including Bowser, who no longer feels like wanting world domination, instead being content with spending time with his son. While Mario was such an important part of their lives, everyone eventually follows the path Mario always took since the beginning, the path forward. While I could have ended things here, I feel like it was fitting to have a small epilogue, so I decided to give a film to a character who's been here since the beginning and who most certainly deserves it. That film is Donkey Kong Country. The film follows Donkey Kong after the events of the Ultimate movie, when overnight, all of the bananas on Donkey Kong Island are stolen by his old nemesis, King K. Rool. Donkey Kong assembles the DK crew to get the bananas back, including Diddy Kong, Dixie Kong, Lanky Kong, and Chunky Kong, as they travel the Crocodile Isle. On their journey, they also meet Funky Kong and Candy Kong, who temporarily help them along the way. They eventually make it to King K. Rool's base, and through working together and outsmarting King K. Rool, they manage to safely return the bananas home. The DK crew celebrates their victory by eating some of their bananas, and DK invites some friends to eat with him. Besides the other Kongs, main characters from the Mario cast such as Luigi, Peach, Toad, Daisy, Yoshi, and even Bowser arrive to join the feast. As everyone is having a great time, talking, laughing, and reminiscing about the past, the film and this saga comes to a close. I really enjoy planning out stuff like this, especially with Nintendo franchises, where there are so many amazing and unique stories to tell. I definitely would have done some things differently or add more details with hindsight, but I had a lot of fun figuring out how to place each puzzle piece as the story moved along. This admittedly took a while to make though, so I'm definitely going to wait before doing anything similar again, especially since there is not much media with as many memorable characters as Nintendo. I hope you all enjoyed today's video. If you did, check out some of my other content. If you really did, subscribe so that you know when future content comes out. That's it for now, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care!